Hello, 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 everybody. Just getting this stream started. Welcome, welcome. I've got Twitch and YouTube streaming at the moment, so I'll be keeping an eye on both chats. Are the chats here always this calm? No, no, they are not. Let's just give it some time. What am I gonna do for 100,000 subs? Nothing, because I'm an animator and I can't do anything in time. Or at least the things I have in the works are not going to be there in time. Otherwise I would. Alright, so, yeah, so this is the sketch I've got for today that I'm going to be painting. This is the Man-Eater from Demon Souls. I'm going to be getting to doing a painty paint to this fella. Hello, everybody, coming in. Thank you for the kind words. Alright, let's start getting this fella going. So I have the same drawing on my other monitor at the moment, which I have here, so I can see it flipped. So that's a good way to keep the drawing looking a little bit more structured and easy to notice mistakes. Not that this is a super clean drawing at the moment anyway that I need to notice all the mistakes with. But it's a good way to get just a feel for how the positioning and everything is going. And also the colors on my other monitor are a little bit more accurate. Alright, so first off, I'm gonna lay down some colors for the background. Just real quick. Have I played Persona 5, and will I do anything involving Persona 5? Probably not. I have not played it, and I've not really got any plans to play it just because I don't really like JRPGs very much. Or at least not like traditional turn-based JRPGs. So, this is the area of this fella in Demon Souls is pretty dark and kind of turquoise-ish, really, really dark blue-green. Even that's too bright. The colors will look a little better once. This is just to kind of plop it down real quick. Who's my favorite boss in the Soulsborne franchise? Tough choice. It usually comes down to Lady Maria, Artorias, Ludwig, what else? And Nameless King, and as of the latest DLC, Slave Knight Gale. Those are the main ones, I'd say. Yeah, I'd like to see Demon Souls like remade with the current polish of the series, but I'm also worried that if they remade Demon Souls, they would ruin the atmosphere. I'm a little, yeah, I'm like worried that a lot of remasters tend to kind of miss the points of the colors and lighting of old games. Look no further than the Crash remasters coming out to see that. Those don't look as bad as they did at first, but they still like got some pretty bad color choices in certain areas. My favorite Souls game, I cannot pick one. It's really hard. I go back and forth. Dark Souls 1 was my first, and it does a lot of things the best, I think, but it's also been improved upon in Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne in certain ways. Actually, no, I'm not gonna... Alright, so this background layer will just be for the sky, just so I can keep that separate. Yes, I do like Rayman. I think if you asked me to, like, but if you put a gun to my head and asked me to say what's my favorite Souls game right this second, I would say either Dark Souls 1 or Bloodborne. It's really hard to choose between them. Hello, Indigo. Hello, Mayor Pickle Tea Town. Good to see you, folks. Alright, let's see. I'm not exactly sure what order I want to do everything here. Let's first, actually here, let's put down kind of a flat color for the Manator, which will look like crap at first, but we'll fix as we go on. Which game do I think had the best soundtrack? It's a tough question. I'm tempted to say Demon Souls, because it has the most unique soundtrack, I think. That's one thing. I think Dark Souls 3 has a lot of good tunes, but they sound really similar in tone. There's not a whole lot of variety. And I like that Demon Souls has really, really weird songs. Very quiet and strange instrument choices. Dark Souls 1 has some really good ones too. Yeah, it's kind of hard to pick. As I have a hard time picking anything from anything about these games. What culture, genre, time period, aesthetic would I want to see next from the Souls series? I want sci-fi Souls. I want some kind of futuristic fantasy sci-fi Souls with laser swords and robots, but still creepy, if possible. And I know The Surge just came out, which is kind of that, except I don't like that company. I don't like Lords of the Fallen at all, and their new game doesn't look very good either, in my opinion. Which is a shame, because it sounds like a good idea. Sci-fi Souls. Alright, we're gonna have him being lit by fire over here. This will be the light source. That's the light source, and then he'll also have glowy eyes, which will also be a light source of themselves. Not as strong, though. Let's start maybe chipping away at his design. Like the aesthetic I'd like from a sci-fi Souls, something. It's kind of hard to think. Not really grounded like the Surge, not like realistic, not like something that looks like it could be our future. More like fantasy, like Star Wars is like future fantasy. More on that line, like a fantastical laser robot worlds with scary things. What are my thoughts on Code Vein? I think I don't remember too much about what I saw, but I recall when I saw the trailer, I thought it looked pretty cool. I like action-y games. So. Favorite Sonic game is probably Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Boring answer, I know, but it's also the correct answer. Now everyone has their own Sonic opinions and whatnot, but I'm definitely of the group that considers Sonic 3 and Knuckles to be the pinnacle of the series. This guy actually doesn't really have... His teeth are kind of sharp, but he doesn't really have fangs. Kind of like gnarly teeth. I think Hollow Knight looks really good. I'm thinking of waiting until it's out on Switch to play it, but I really want to play Hollow Knight. Let's start. Let's see. We're gonna go very dark for the parts that are not being hit by the light at all. Am I excited for Sonic Mania? Yes, yes I am. Very much. And if it does well, then I hope that Team can make another 2D Sonic game with all new levels and not like rehashed old levels. That's the only thing I don't like about Sonic Mania at the moment. I don't like that they're bringing back old levels. Especially since Chemical Plant and Green Hill Zone we've already seen in Sonic Generations, and Green Hill Zone is showing up in Sonic Forces again. Sonic Forces, you know what, Sonic Forces can do whatever the hell it wants, I don't give a shit. Sonic Mania makes me not even give a remote interest in Sonic Forces. I'm more morbidly curious about Sonic Forces than I am excited. Will I do a review of Sonic Mania when it comes out? Nope. I'm not going to do any Sonic reviews at the moment. Nor am I planning any kind of reviews at all right now. It'll be way down the line if I do any more kind of reviews. Have I seen Rick and Morty? Yes, and I like it. Quite a bit. Let's tone down the background sketch here. What's my favorite thing in games related that has come out this year? Probably Puyo Puyo Tetris. As silly as that is to say. I think that was some of the most fun I've had this year. That and Neo was very good. Although Neo also made me very mad with how hard it was. Took me forever to finish it. Alright, let's start getting some of the coloring on his face. He's gonna be a little bit green with his eyes. Am I a fan of the Monster Hunter franchise? Yeah. No, not like a super fan, but I enjoyed the 3DS ones that I played with my friends, and I think the Monster Hunter World for PS4 looks like it's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to playing that quite a bit. I do think there's a lot of elements that are just kind of annoying. Like I don't really... What am I trying to say? I don't really like the aspects of like collecting all the items and stuff for, well, I feel like I'm not explaining this right. I feel like there's a lot of arbitrary stuff in Monster Hunter that just makes it kind of obnoxious sometimes, and I feel like it could be streamlined. I'm having a hard time concentrating on what I mean by that while I'm drawing this strange man. My thoughts on the new Metroid game. Metroid Prime 4, very excited. Also by a new company, so don't know if it's going to be as good or better or worse, so we just gotta kind of wait and see how that turns out. And then 3DS Metroid, at first I didn't think it looked that great, but the more I look at it, I think it'll be fun. I like the new melee move that they're adding. I've actually wanted Metroid to have some kind of melee move for a long time, so I'm glad they're adding that. I should not be adding details to this yet. What am I doing? I should be getting down to this first. And his face should be pretty dark, actually. Am I excited for anything from E3? I'm glad Cuphead got a release date, finally. And then Mario Odyssey probably is the biggest thing I'm looking forward to. That and Sonic Mania. Thank you, Math. Thanks for stopping by. Paintings take a while to take shape and look good. Do I prefer the smartassness of modern Sonic or the silent but tough attitude from classic Sonic? Classic Sonic by a mile. I think he's much more charming and much more timeless, much more just iconic. New smartass Sonic is usually not written well, so I don't like him very much. Sonic Boom is written okay, the show I mean. That writing, it's not exactly what I want from Sonic as a whole, but for what it is, I think it's good. It's fine. And, but nah, in general, I think old classic, the kind of huffy, tough guy Sonic is a lot more cute and fun and enjoyable. A little smoother. Might want to get another layer over this to help with the lighting. It's a little bit confusing. Maybe I should try and loosen up with the brush strokes at the moment. Here, let's change this to black so I can focus on how it actually looks a little bit better. Did I play and beat Resident Evil 7? Yes, I did. I liked it at first. I think it got worse as it went on. Like, the first two areas were really good, and like as it went on, once it got to like the ship, it got really boring, and then the final boss sucked ass. So it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth when I was done with it. But on the whole, it was pretty good. I wasn't like upset that I bought it or anything. I enjoyed the first two areas very much. Let's try this. Yeah, actually, this will help with the lighting. This is the Man-Eater from Demon Souls. I started animation when I was about 10 years old. I started drawing when I was like a toddler. Thoughts on the new Call of Duty? I do not give a shit about Call of Duty. I've not cared about Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2. This hand sorted out. Do I have a DeviantArt? No, I do not. I heard there was some kind of bad art theft stuff going on over there. I don't know if that's still the case, but I do not want a DeviantArt for that reason. Thoughts on Sonic Forces? I think it's going to be really dumb. That doesn't necessarily mean it won't be fun, but I think they're making some very stupid decisions with it, and it makes me think that Sonic Team has learned absolutely nothing. And so, I wait to see how it goes, because I'm curious, if nothing else. I'm probably going to get it, just out of curiosity's sake, but I do not have high hopes for it. I appeared in Kirby Otaku's animation. I don't think I saw that. I follow Kirby Otaku. I'll have to check that out. That sounds cool. What don't I like about Sonic Forces? Well, first off, I don't think they should have continued the boost gameplay at all. This is probably stuff I've talked about on streams before, so if anyone's going back to watch these streams in the future for any reason, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. I don't think the boost gameplay has a lot of potential. I think it was fun once or twice, like in Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations. That was fine. But I don't think it's something they should have continued, because it's just a really shallow gameplay style. Because it's so restrictive. It's you just run down a hallway the exact way the game wants you to. The jumping is really stilted. And, like, there's just not a whole lot you can do with it, unlike, say, the Sonic Adventure style, where you have much more room to run around, and your momentum is a lot more easy to handle. So I think, in that sense, I prefer the Sonic Adventure style, even though those games are very messy. What is my favorite anime? I'm not sure if I can pick exactly one just above all, but I usually say Kill la Kill, because I love the character designs and I love the animation. Kill la Kill and the 1990s Berserk are usually the two I say are my favorites. Because Berserk has cool story and cool characters and really, really cool atmosphere and an amazing soundtrack. Do I like Sonic Heroes? I actually do kind of like Sonic Heroes. I don't think it's great by any means, but I do enjoy it. I think it's got a very good aesthetic, for one thing. I think it captured the Genesis style pretty well, much better than the adventure games anyway. And great soundtrack. I think the gameplay is not great. It has plenty of problems, but on the whole, I enjoy it. Every now and then. If I really can't think of anything else to play, sometimes I'll pop that in. Not often, but sometimes. Do I have a favorite Starbomb song? It's been a while since I've listened to them. Probably... I always like the Animal Crossing one. And Regretroid's a good one. Probably start getting some of the more orange light in here. What do I think about the new Bomberman game? It looks fun. I didn't get it. I was considering getting it, but I just kind of passed it up. I think it looked fun, but not necessarily like full price fun. What inspired me to do animation? What inspired me to do animation, mostly, was that one episode of the Kirby Right Back At Ya anime, where they made a cartoon. And I said, I want to do that. And I just liked cartoons in general. Probably have a little bit more detail on the hands once we get more detail going in here, so I can make that kind of a focus point. Hey, Doigan Swift. Thank you. Trying to get better at foreshortening and drawing poses in general. I'm not good at drawing poses, so I'm trying to get better at that. I always draw the characters and stuff in the exact same poses. Really stiff, really not much energy. I'm trying to get better at adding energy to my art. Will I live stream again? Yeah. Yeah, I will. So we're just going to keep kind of making this cleaner and messy and clean and messy until I finally get like a color scheme that I think is okay. I'm going to keep track of where the pecs are. Lectures from, I don't know how to pronounce that, Wouter Tulp? Woter Tulp? I'll look them up. That sounds good. I wanna learn more about that kind of stuff, making energy. Because that's the big thing that I've taken from watching like good anime and stuff, is that I want to put more excitement and energy into my pieces and my animations and stuff. Better lines of action, better poses. What is my favorite cartoon? The Last Airbender. No contest. As for more like episodic cartoons, home movies, Simpsons, old Simpsons, SpongeBob seasons 1 through 3. Those are the big ones. Right, now his hair is going to be kind of a challenge because it's not really hair. He's like a statue gargoyle thing. It's like hair carved into rock. It'll be interesting. Might want to detail in some of the features real quick. Let's see where. This on the. Yeah, so this will be just kind of roughing in some of the features, so some of it's getting lost. Do I watch Ruby? Not really. I've seen an episode here and there. It seems cool, but I haven't really gone out of my way to watch it. Favorite Mario game? Usually I've said Super Mario World, but I've played that more recently, and I think there's some things that are done better in other games. I think Super Mario 3D World is pretty damn good, I think, in my opinion. I know not everyone likes that game because it's not super innovative, but I think that game is just solid from beginning to end. Always super fun. I could pick it up at like any time and always enjoy it. I think when people say like Mario 3D World doesn't innovate or it's not creative, I think that applies more to Mario 3D Land on the 3DS. I think that game is kind of boring because of how just kind of standard it is. 3D World is not like a groundbreaking game or anything, but it's refined and the level gimmicks are usually creative, I think. Like, they're not all brand new ideas, but they're new enough to be interesting, where 3D Land was not like new at all. Like, nothing about 3D Land felt new. 3D World felt still creative, just not revolutionary. Like, Mario Odyssey looks revolutionary. But on the whole, 3D World is the one I think I have the most fun with, even if it's not the most groundbreaking or anything. Thank you, Nicholas. That's nice. And thank you, Teroxis. Kind words all around. I don't really have a favorite animation I've done, because I'm an artist and I hate everything I've done. When Rev Episode 2 is out, when it's finished, I think that will be my favorite. Yeah, I'm using a drawing tablet. Yep, the Wacom Cintiq 22 HD. Thoughts on Cuphead? I think it looks really fun and the animation looks great, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm gonna start making it kind of looking rougher. Thoughts on Pokemon RPGs for the Switch? I have not played a Pokemon RPG in eons, because I'm not a huge fan of them, but I've said before that when they make a Pokemon RPG for a console, then I will buy the new one. And so if they're doing that for Switch, I'll buy that one. I'll probably not get into it super much, but no, I've always said I'd like to see them try an HD Pokemon RPG, just for the sake of variety. So I'll probably give it a go. There's the dog. And my dog's going crazy. Alright, we could probably start going into more details with this fella. Start with his face. Any advice on how to start an anime? I'm not really one to give advice on that. I'm not really super experienced in it, so I'd say just look up tutorials on YouTube and stuff. See you, Krayos. Thanks for stopping by. I'm not sure if I'll finish this on stream, because it's getting very hot in this room, and I might have to make it a short one. But we'll see. Kevin, enjoy the spooky face. It's gonna get you. Oh yeah, I've seen Proco a couple times. He seems like he knows his stuff. Has some very detailed explanations of how the body works. Yeah, I might need to make some new layers for like overlays in order to get the lighting looking a little bit better. We'll do that a little bit later. What are my thoughts on Kingdom Hearts? I think Kingdom Hearts is really, really silly. I think it's so weird an idea that it could work, but I've only really played the first one and I don't like it very much. I think it's kind of clunky and boring, and the one thing I'll say about the Kingdom Hearts series in general is that I love Disney. I love Disney characters, and I hate Square Enix characters. Or at least I hate like new Square Enix characters. I just think they're really dorky and really unlikable. Yeah, I hate Sora, I hate Kairi. I hate whatever everybody else's names are. But yeah, I mean, I like Donald and Goofy and Hades. All those folks, I love those guys. But they have to be surrounded by Final Fantasy dorks all the time, so it's not really my cup of tea. This man is the Man-Eater from Demon Souls. Anyone wondering? Thank you, Thunderstreak, and thank you anyone else who said nice words that I haven't acknowledged, because I can't look at every single question. I apologize if I miss anybody. But that's just how streams work. Have to. His head is like similar texture to his beard hair area, but it's still like the same cracky rocks. This will look pretty cool once they zoom out. Yeah, that's the thing about painting. I was getting worried this wasn't going to look good. The thing is about painting, you just kind of, a lot of times the painting will look like crap until you're farther along. So you just kind of have to stick with it and be confident. Yep, 100,000 is not too far away if it keeps up, and if I don't lose subscribers from the stream, which I probably will. I'll have to take a look at the numbers and stuff of the algorithm when it comes to streaming, because as far as I can tell, I would imagine these streams would maybe lose subscribers just because, I don't know, it's probably not what people expect, and doing the unexpected is what makes you lose subscribers. So I'll have to check and see. If they really make a big impact on my subscribers, I might have to stop doing them and just stick to Twitch. But for now, I'll just do them on both. I can get some highlights on these cracks once I'm a little bit farther along. Once I get the outlines first. Thank you, Mayor. You're always very supportive. Yeah, I'm using Restream to go to Twitch and YouTube at the moment. Finally got that set up. Let's see, his nose isn't looking right. Let's get his nostrils a little bit more nostrily. Nostrily, that's a word you can add to your vocabulary of my streams. What is my least favorite Sonic game? Sonic Lost World is up there. Sonic Lost World and... what else? You know, I think I'm gonna have to say Sonic Lost Worlds. I can't think of any other that I dislike as much. Because even the bad ones of the old days, they're more like funny and how bad they are. Sonic 06 is hilarious. Shadow the Hedgehog is really funny to play. Those are bad games that fill me with joy. Sonic Lost World just makes me mad that it exists. How it's so uncreative and unfunny and horrible writing and really just a mess of controls. But I've made a review about it already. If you want to see what I think about Sonic Lost World, go watch my Sonic Lost World review. You can see it at youtube.com/GregzillaGT, and you can take your popcorn and eat it while you eat it and watch it, and it'll be a good old time. Anyways, teeth. You know, I've noticed sometimes monsters and demons and stuff look scarier if they have regular teeth and not like fangs. I don't know what it is. It makes it more uncanny. Oh, secret rings and Black Knight, actually. Those are pretty bad, too. I don't know. That's actually pretty tough call. Because Sonic and the Secret Rings and Sonic and the Black Knight, those are absolute garbage. I will never understand people who defend Sonic and the Black Knight. I know that game actually has its fans. I will not understand it. I played that with a friend recently. It was excruciating in every way. Oh yeah, I've seen like pictures of fish with like really normal, flat-looking human teeth. It's scary. Like that one picture going around of the parasite in the fish's mouth that like replaces its tongue. Look that up, folks. That's a good old time. Oh, you guys got more subscribers from streaming? That's interesting. I'll have to keep an eye on that. I wonder if that'll... maybe if I stream more consistently, maybe I'll get more of a following from that. I don't know how YouTube works these days. Does anyone? Alright, this is looking a little bit better now. Alright, let's see. Now, his like forearm tends to have some similar texture to that, but his like upper arm and shoulder doesn't really. Kevin, if you are a masochist, then Sonic and the Black Knight is for you. That game is nothing but shaking the Wii remote back and forth. That is all it is for several hours. There is nothing else to that game. Music's alright, though. What would be the next game I kinda review? I don't know. I don't have any plans for kinda reviews at the moment. If and when I do more kinda reviews, I'll probably make the next one a positive review, because I'd like to alternate between positive and negative. Problem with my Mac screen and my tablet screen is that the lighting in this room kind of gives it a glare, so I can sometimes get inaccurate with how dark things should look. It's a shame. Kevin, there you are. What made me want to draw this, Greg? Why'd I say Greg? I'm Greg. What made me want to draw this? I like Demon Souls, and I like Dark Souls, and I like those games a lot, and I love drawing things from these games. They're my favorite things to draw. I wanted to pick one that's not drawn too much. Have I played Hollow Knight? Nope, but I want to. I'm waiting for it to be on Switch, I think. It looks really good. I love Metroidvanias. I have played Salt and Sanctuary, though, which is also kind of a riff on Dark Souls, which that game I didn't like too much. I thought it was too frustrating. I thought the player felt really like awkward to control. And it only had like 2 songs in the whole soundtrack, which was very disappointing. But I have had the urge to go back to it in time and every now and then. I like the atmosphere in Salt and Sanctuary. It has some cool monster designs and stuff. In case someone hasn't asked you yet, how is your day going today? My day is going pretty good. Thank you for asking. I had Frosted Flakes for breakfast. I had a large bowl. Let's see, that actually didn't look good. What happened to Kinda Plays? It was just not something we really wanted to continue. It was too much work to edit. It was kind of just... After a while, we were just like, it's more fun if we just play them for fun. We don't really want to do Let's Plays. It was fun while it lasted, though. What was the most rage-inducing game I've ever played? It's fresh in my mind, so to keep that in mind, but I think the answer is Neo for PS4. That game... Now, granted, I played it with a slow axe weapon because I like heavy-hitting weapons, so maybe that's part of the reason I was getting so frustrated. But I cannot recall a game that I got more angry at than Neo. That game is... absolutely infuriating. Like, Dark Souls is challenging and it requires caution. Neo is just fuck you, the game. Like, you die in like 2 hits no matter what level you are. And no matter what armor you have. It's absolutely bonkers. Ooh, Wormtown and Mushroom Cavern. Those sound cool. Make me want to play... you guys are getting me in the mood. I might want to skip Switch and just get Hollow Knight on PC. That's already out. Let's see. I think there's some bits of his mouth I haven't gotten right yet. Yeah, it looks like I made his face proportions a little bit off. Let's try and fix that. Kind of got his cheek. We'll fix the colors later. I'm just trying to get the shape first. That's looking a little better right now, actually. So we got that, and then this kind of separates. Kind of hard to tell. Is Hollow Knight supposed to be like really hard like Dark Souls? I wasn't sure what the difficulty was like. If it is, it sounds cool. If not, it sounds cool too. Thank you, Llama Bup. What's the most overrated game, in my opinion? I don't like saying overrated because I know that just makes people mad and stuff, but for the sake of conversation, I would have to say, let's see, what's the most overrated game? Maybe not the most, but I think Nier Automata is pretty overrated at the moment. I didn't like that game very much. I think it's very below Platinum Games' standards. What else? I think Kingdom Hearts on the whole is pretty overrated. And there go my subscribers. Yeah, like, this is a conversation that just meant to get people mad. Alright, be right back. I'm gonna go see what my dog's barking at. Alright, I'm back. He was just barking at a ghost. It's fine now, though. Stop tilting you? How am I? What am I tilting? I'm tilting, Josh. I'm tilting you anyway. Tilt. I think Borderlands is a little overrated, maybe. Well, I remember I played Borderlands 1 on PS3, and I remember liking it. And then later I played Borderlands 2 on PC with my friends, and I remember not liking it. I don't know why. I don't know if Borderlands 2 is worse than the first one, or if it's just that I outgrew it or something. I don't know. I don't know. What is my most favorite gaming soundtrack of all time? Probably Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill series in general is pretty hard to pick between, but 2 is probably my favorite. What games do I think are underrated? Rocket Knight Adventures. Let's see, I think... maybe not underrated. I think Star Fox Assault is a little bit underappreciated. It does a lot of things wrong, but it does some things right, too. Am I excited for the Crash remakes? Yes I am. I've criticized the graphics a lot, and I still think they're not great in terms of, like, the directions they're taking with it, but I'm still happy to play them, and I tried, like, the demo at GameStop, and it's very satisfying to control. So, I'm still looking forward to playing them, and I also want Crash to stop being dead, so I should probably give it my money. My favorite soundtrack is not Katamari? It's pretty close. It's probably, like, number 2. Silent Hill 2, Katamari Damacy, Sonic Adventure, Sword of the Berserk, Guts' Rage. Those are all up there. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Let's see. Start giving a little more definition to these flaps. Flaps of rock hair. I play Overwatch with friends, but not really anytime else. I enjoy playing it with friends, but I don't really have any particular love for it outside of social playing. I like the animation, though. It's really good. And Extra Credits just did a really good video on this animation. It's cool stuff. Oh yeah, Undertale too. Undertale is very good soundtrack. I listen to it all the time. Oh, Metal Gear Rising. How do I forget that? I bought that soundtrack. Of course, that's a good one. Metal Gear Rising is a little bit different kind of love, I guess, because a lot of my other soundtracks I pick because they're like easy listening, or I enjoy just kind of relaxing listening to them. Metal Gear Rising I listen to when I want to get fucking pumped. And I still, to this day, I think Metal Gear Rising is the best, like, usage of boss music in games. Not, like, necessarily the best boss music ever, but the best, like, way it's done, and that it has the instrumental version, and then when you're about to kill the boss, then it switches to the vocal version. Why more games have not stolen that idea, I'll never know. Like, more games need to have, like, the timing and like the pacing of how the boss music times out with the battle. Like, if I was to ever make a game, that would be, like, a huge priority. Like, making the battle music time out with things happening on screen. The problem is, it's hard to do that when you're not making it scripted. Like, if you don't want to just fill your battle with like, QuickTime events and stuff. Dark Souls 3 does that pretty well, I'd say, for the most part. Like, when the boss phases switch, the music will change. That's definitely not bad at that. I have not played Night in the Woods. I've heard very mixed things about it. I've heard people who absolutely love it and people who absolutely hate it. It's probably not my cup of tea. It seems kind of like young adult fiction, from what I understand, and I'm not huge into that kind of aesthetic or storytelling. I'm more into killing dragons and shooting monsters and stuff, unfortunately. I'm a narrow-minded person in that regard. This guy's rock hair looks kind of like French fries. Observations with Gregzilla. Have I ever put a pancake in a tortilla? No, I have not. But now I want to. Do I listen to Bo Burnham? Not, like, actively, but I have listened and watched his stand-up bits, and performances and stuff. He's cool. He's a fun guy. It's cool that he puts on a show. He's very unique as a stand-up performer in that regard. I use Toon Boom Harmony Premium for animation. If I were to make a game, what genre would it be? Will probably be similar to Dark Souls, but more flashy, like kind of like a medium between Dark Souls and Bayonetta. Something like that. Something like the satisfaction of Dark Souls, but with a story that's a little bit more straightforward. Because one thing I've noticed about games is that I cannot think of many game villains that I actually like really hate and want to like beat up at the end. And I think that's something that we're kind of missing. Like Dark Souls is obviously more like abstract and doesn't really have like people you hate as villains for the most part. And then like Bayonetta's villains are always really kind of like dumb and just kind of big god figures that don't really have much personality compared to the extreme personalities of the protagonists. There aren't too many like fun villains these days. Like I guess Senator Armstrong is one of the only ones that really fit that niche. And even then, he only really showed up at the end. So I'd like to make an action game with a really good villain. Like a really fun, cartoony, energetic villain. Have I thought of moving to MS Paint now that it does 3D? Are you pulling my leg here, Kevin? Does it actually do that? If it does, I need to look it up right away. What's my favorite cartoon that's currently airing? Steven Universe and Rick and Morty. have to redo the eyes at some point. They look like they're... You know what? I'm actually gonna... I might want to put the glow of his eyes on a separate layer. And now he's a creepypasta. Yeah, because that was actually kind of screwing with his anatomy. Let me flip it real quick to try and get that looking more correct. Wolfenstein's villain was alright. Actually, both the villains it had was alright. The Death's Head and Frau Engel. Those were okay villains. I'm looking forward to the new Wolfenstein, actually. That's going to be really bad. That's going to be good, I bet. My favorite first-person shooter is Doom, the old one, and my second favorite first-person shooter is Doom, the new one. I also have a soft spot for the first 3 Halo games. I think those are still pretty fun. Everything past Halo 3 I don't really care about. Halo 4 can fuck right off with that terrible final boss. And Halo 5 looked like it had the exact same kind of final boss. When's the next episode of Reb coming out? When it is finished. Sorry, if I'm not answering people's questions, part of it might be that I've already answered them and I don't want to repeat myself, so sorry. This stream will be archived in an unlisted playlist that will be linked to later. If anyone wants to go back and listen. I already talked about Hollow Knight and stuff. Can I draw Sonic the Hedgehog next stream, and are you still doing Kinda reviews? Maybe I'll draw Sonic in my next stream, and Kinda Reviews is not canceled or anything, but I'm not working on it right now. It might come back someday. It's not a huge priority, though. And I feel bad that people, like, I think I got a lot of new followers from Kinda Reviews, so I feel bad if they're expecting a lot more when I'm not really working on it. I don't think I have many indie games that I like have played that most people haven't played. Yeah, I do the unlisted archive streams because I don't want the streams to take up like my entire channel. Because I'm an animator and I can't upload too often, so if I did that, it would probably turn my entire video page into streams, and I don't really want that to happen. If anyone's curious, this soundtrack I'm listening to is Castlevania Lament of Innocence, which I've not played and I've not listened to before. Do I have a favorite battle manga? Not really, because I haven't really read any manga. The only manga I've read, really, is the first 3 volumes of Berserk, and I want to read more, but it's expensive. Expensive to, like, read all of them, at least. What was the game I was most hyped for at E3? And probably just Metroid in general, and Mario. And Wolfenstein, actually. I'm pretty excited for Wolfenstein. Alright, yeah, this is looking a lot better than it was. And then I'll add the glow on his eyes afterwards. Actually, we can do this. Woo! Titan Souls. I played the demo for that way back in the day. when it was more new. It seemed kind of fun. I like the idea of games built just around boss battles, because boss battles are, in my opinion, the best thing about video games. Not the best, just my favorite part of games. So I like Shadow of the Colossus, and I like just games that have lots of bosses. I think we need more games that are just bosses. Or mostly bosses. This is the Man-Eater from Demon's Souls, the hardest boss in the game. What are you, Hermfinet Swift? How dare you, Hermfit Shadow of the Colossus? I'm pretty hyped for Monster Hunter World 2. That'll be a lot of fun with friends. I've really wanted an HD Monster Hunter for a while. His head looks a little bit lopsided. Yeah, okay. I forgive your Hermf. Yeah, I love Shadow of the Colossus. If they're doing the remake, I hope the remake is like a ground-up remake, because I think the controls could be tweaked to be better. I know they were going for the idea that it's like perilous and you're swinging around against your will and stuff, but I think they went too far with it. So I think a remake could help maybe tone that down a bit and it'd be better. That's just me, though. And chances are they're not going to change anything about the gameplay, so who knows. Pie in the sky dream is that they add more Colossi, sorry. I hope because they're, back in development of the original game, there were more Colossi planned, but they didn't all make it. So I'd like to see at least one or two of those make it in. But I'm guessing they won't. If it's just a graphical update, I don't know if I'm going to be that excited for it. Probably not, actually, because I've already played it recently. More than once. So if there's not any like gameplay changes, I don't really see much reason to get super hyped for Shadow. I have not saved since I started this. Okay, we're good. I'm a bad boy. Living on the edge. Gonna keep zooming in and getting smaller and smaller brushes to add more detail in the places you want detail. The face and the hand are where I'm gonna want the most detail. So for other spots like his farther away arm, I'm not gonna be zooming in this much. I like doing this when it's rotated because you get to see the diagonal pixels, which I think looks fun. I don't want to. Maybe I don't want to use exactly like a black because it looks a little bit too harsh. Looks like these guys singing the song. Do I have a fidget spinner? No, I do not. Maybe someday. If the gods decide to bestow one upon me. If I am chosen. Hello, Nemesis Platinum. It's a friend. It's a big ol' green-orange friend. Have I played Super Mario Fidget Spinner 64? No, I have not. I saw someone just made like a Mario 64 mod that gives you the Mario Odyssey hat possession thing. To which my response was, that was really fast. Why did I decide to draw Demon Souls stuff? Because I love Demon Souls. And all the Souls games, except Dark Souls 2. Yeah, I still love Dark Souls 2, even though I rip on it all the time. I just love it the least. But I will draw something from Dark Souls 2 eventually. How often do I do streams? I don't really have a schedule. I might try and get a schedule going, but I'm gonna try and do it once a week if I can. If I get an actual schedule going, I'll let you guys know. I've never been on a podcast. I don't really have any in particular that I'd like to be on. But who knows, maybe someday. I don't think I have enough interesting things to say, that's the problem. I need a more interesting life before I can be on a podcast. All I do is animate. And when I'm done animating, I animate more. Bye, Samuel Perez. Thanks for stopping by. Do I eat animation for breakfast? Yes, and it's very unhealthy, and I get fat. I watch cartoons during breakfast sometimes. Usually when I'm eating lunch or whatever, I watch Futurama, or home movies, or Bob's Burgers. And sometimes I want to watch anime while I'm eating, but I can't because I have to look down and eat, and then I have to look back up and try and catch the subtitles I missed. What a tragic life I lead. Can't even watch my anime while I eat my Cheerios. I don't even like Cheerios. I don't even know why I said Cheerios. Look at those guys, pearly whites. Let's give them a good old grin. Eora! Hello. Did you have a good drunk? Oh, next time you stream, I'll try and come in and watch. I want to see you do cool things. Check out Eora, folks. She does really good stuff. Also check out Kevin and Swift. Logan Swift. All good people in here. Okay, trying to make his face look chiseled, but I don't want to make it look too uniform in how the chisel shows up. Oh yeah, you can't stream NSFW on Twitch, I believe, but Picarto, that's all good. Sweet. I have a Picarto account, I don't really use it though. Because I don't draw enough of the boobs, I guess. I didn't know there was such a thing as a bad Yuri hentai game. They're all good. They're all my children. I wonder if this stream got sent out on YouTube differently than usual, because I like how the chat is a little bit smaller and easier to manage this time, but I'm wondering why. It seems to be much less chaotic than usual, at least than the last couple of times. Or maybe Demon Souls is just more of a niche thing people don't click on. That's one thing. People like Dark Souls, people like Bloodborne. Demon's Souls does not get enough love. It's a good game. Sakura Fantasy. Fun fact, the brush I'm using right now it's by Friendin, I think? Yeah, Friendin, the Painterly pack, and it's just the Photoshop round brush. And it's, as far as I know, I don't really use Photoshop, but I think it's pretty similar just to the normal Photoshop brush, and so it's a very simple brush. I used to use more, like, detailed textured brushes to try and make it more realistic and stuff, but I think this simple brush makes it more like you're encouraged to try and just be better at working with simple tools and not trying to let I'm not trying to let the tools do the work for me. So if I can just make something good out of this completely stale, simple brush, then I think it makes me feel like I've done a good job just making a good piece of art regardless of what I'm using. I'm just rambling. If anyone hasn't played Demon's Souls or any of the Souls games, I highly recommend them. They are by far my favorite series. And I wish more games had the love and passion and challenge and integrity of these games. Yeah, Kevin, I think that's something I want to try doing more. Like, I used to be really, like, even recently, I've been like, oh no, I'm using the wrong brushes, I can't get these brush settings right. I'm trying to get out of that mindset so I can focus more on just getting good in general, as opposed to leaning on certain tools to look better or worse than other tools. That's cool, Swift. Tyrion Lannister. I'm always for a Game of Thrones. Freddy Fish, you are a more hardcore gamer than I. I played those games all the time when I was a kid. I like the one where Freddy Fish has the undersea pigs get stolen, and then they shoot Freddy Fish and she dies. I thought that was really funny. Is there any music genre I'm particularly into? I really like symphonic metal, and I really like especially female-fronted vocals in symphonic metal. I like Nightwish is my favorite band. I just recently got into DOODLING. That's a cool band. And then not female-fronted, but I like Sabaton. I like Metallica. Iron Maiden. Thing is, I listen to a lot of the same music over and over again, so I'm not very cultured when it comes to music. So I tend to listen to just not too many songs by certain bands, but I like metal in general. And then I like game soundtracks and stuff. Hello, Jasketch. Hello, Hyper Flippy Pasta. Hello, Zero Stinks. What I say, Photoshop is the Dark Souls of drawing software? Nah, that's MS Paint. A Freddy Fish drinking game? That sounds great. Take a shot every time you see something you can click on that does something irrelevant and weird. You only played one Freddy Fish game? Get out of here. How dare you. You need to play at least 2, maybe even 3 Freddy Fish games before you're a true gamer. I don't even know how you can look me in the eye and tell me that. Have I considered doing any more video tutorials in the future? Maybe. Maybe. If I can get good. I want to know about the Swedish point-and-click games over there. Zoombinis. I never actually played Zoombinis as a kid. I feel like I missed out. Yeah, Pajama Sam was my fave. Pajama Sam and Putt-Putt saves the zoo. Grab your bag. Putt-Putt saves the zoo. Get in step. Putt-Putt saves the zoo. Something something. Putt-Putt saves the zoo. Go get Pep. Putt-Putt saves the zoo. We are the topiary creatures. We're very pleased to meet you, senors y senoritas too. I watched Brutal Moose's video about Zoombinis. It made me want to play it. Make me a pizza. Kind of dwelling on this face too long, but if you're gonna dwell on something, dwell on the face, because the face is what people are drawn to. And since this is intentionally the focus of the piece, so it's probably not a bad idea to focus on this for a good while. I may use a glow layer of some sort when I get to his eyes. Oh yeah, I played Rita Rabbit too. I played a lot of those. Those don't seem to be as popular nowadays with, like, nostalgia people. But yeah, I have lots of fond memories of Rita Rabbit. I remember one of the Rita Rabbit games is how I learned what a scarlet macaw bird was. It's not that relevant in everyday life, but I know what it is because of Rita Rabbit. Scarlet macaw. I hear Dream Theater is pretty cool when it comes to symphonic metal of that sort. I haven't listened to them too much, but I recall them being cool. Bye, Yora. Thanks for stopping by. Feel free to drunkenly stumble in anytime. Have a good day. Yeah, I would imagine I'm probably not going to finish this on this stream. Maybe I'll continue this next week or something. I'll keep going for a little bit though. Let's start getting this arm in order. I know it's. This is not going to be as detailed, but gotta get some in there. Alright, sounds good, Kevin. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your space time. Catch you later, yo. Thanks, man. If you have fan art, you can tweet it at me. Definitely tweet it at me at on my Twitter, Gregzilla GT. That's awesome. I love fan art. Thanks so much. Yeah, this arm is going to give me a little bit of trouble, it seems. Hi, Doig and Swift. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. Keep up the cool things. Hello, Just a Pain. Probably go for like a half hour more and then call it a day. Then we'll finish this guy later. Thoughts on Prime 4 and Samus Returns? Prime 4, I don't really know what to think of it yet because it's by a new company and we don't have any footage or anything, but I'm excited. I'm happy it exists. And Samus Returns looks good. Not amazing, but good. And I'm glad they're adding a melee attack. I've wanted that for a while. Yeah, Hyper Flippy Pasta, probably not going to be taking requests of that nature, but thank you anyway. Didn't Other M have a melee attack? I don't know what that game is. I don't know what you're talking about. What's my opinion on Mario and Rabbids? I think the animation looks good. I think they have a lot of personality for like the Mario characters. The Mario characters look like they have way more personality than usual. Actually, his shoulder should be a little bigger. Not the arm, though. Yep, this is called perspective and foreshortening and stuff. It's not a small arm, it's a far arm. And actually, let's see. What should the color be? The arm might need to be more faded in the distance. Should be more orange. Technically it'll be closer to the fire, but also farther away from our eye. Yeah, I'll leave that for later. Alright, I get it. It looks like a little arm, Snarf. Thank you. It's not done yet. Maybe his, alright, let's get his... Let me see if I can get some, can't tell if his nails are supposed to be sharp or, like, flattened. Now it looks like he has sharp nails. The most surprising reveal at E3? Let's see. I don't know, there weren't too many surprises this year. Do I ever do anything between my vids that's not drawing? Nope. That's all I do. Mostly just drawing in games. Well, Metroid didn't surprise me that much. I was excited, but I mean, that wasn't really out of left field. That was like something people have been wanting for a long time, so I don't really consider that a surprise. I guess it was surprising that they finally did it. Like, I think surprising to me would have been a new Ice Climber, or a new Balloon Fight or something, or a new F-Zero. Yes, I did flip my shit when Prime 4 was announced, I will not lie, I'm not gonna say I didn't. I screamed. Would I ever have guest artists for Reb? Some of my artist pals are going to be helping with Reb, if they can, when they get time. I'm consulting with a few of them. Storyboard-driven episodes of Reb. Probably not. At least not at the moment. Most of it's going to be script first, then storyboard. But who knows, maybe. Let's see, this, what is the best cartoon? Last Airbender. He's the best. Storyboarding is probably a good idea for action scenes, definitely. Because those are very visually driven. little better, make it a little bigger. Yeah, it's probably better. Yep, it's the man-eater. If I had a JoJo stand, what would it be? I don't know. People ask me this question all the time, and I can never think of something clever to answer with. I'm no Araki. Hirohiko Araki Balboa. Yeah, I'm hoping we see the next Miyazaki game soon. I mean, he should work on whatever he wants to work on. I hope that Soul's style of gameplay isn't dead, though. Or at least, I hope his next project is similar to the Souls series in some way. And that's like a satisfying action game. Yeah, I don't mind if he does something that's not an RPG, because honestly, RPGs aren't like my favorite thing or anything. Like, I don't like the Souls games because they're RPGs, I like them because they're action games. So I wouldn't mind him seeing... I just hope he doesn't do something like, I don't know, like a turn-based RPG or strategy game or something. I hope it's still action in some way, personally. Yeah, I think in terms of aesthetics, he can definitely branch out. I want to see if he does something like totally new and inventive. We've already seen plenty of like the medieval style European architecture in Dark Souls and Lovecraft and Bloodborne. Let's try something new. Wait, I should not be giving them fur. Or should I? Not really. More like it's kind of jagged rock for his skin texture, but fur-esque in some places. I'd love to have a Metroid game that's, like, scarier. Like, Super Metroid is still my favorite Metroid because the atmosphere is so dark and, like, sad. Like, I like the idea of Metroid being like a really somber exploration game with action here and there, but... Yep, Super Metroid and Other M have the same director. That is quite something. I would be, honestly, I'd be totally down for an M-rated Metroid. Really dark, really violent. Maybe not like ultra violent, but just darker in tone. I still don't think any game in the series has captured the atmosphere of Super Metroid perfectly. The Prime games were great, but Super is still the most atmospheric and dark, in my opinion. I love it. Hand was a little weird over here. Yeah, you did something wrong with the pinky. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I'd like to see a Metroid cartoon someday, like an action-y type series. I think like the Samurai Jack style would be really cool. Maybe not the art style, but like the pacing and tone. Metroid lost a lot of stuff with Other M. I'm hoping Prime 4 and Samus Returns will just confirm that Other M never happened, and it was just, we're just gonna put it behind us. Though Samus Returns looks like it's gonna have those like finishing move type animations that Other M had, which I'm not entirely sure is the right decision. But I guess we'll see, maybe it'll be fun. Who knows? Yeah, the limited edition of Samus Returns in Europe looks really cool. Ours does not look as good in comparison. Although I don't really care too much about having a cooler box, because I wouldn't do anything with a bigger box. I would just throw it away. Like an outer box, I mean. I think that's what they're doing. Like having an outer extra box. Yeah, Matthew Matos's new Demon Souls video is kind of what made me want to do a Demon Souls painting. That was a good video. Alright, I think for today I'm going to call it here. I'll probably continue working on this next week sometime. Either that or I'll finish it off stream sometime and do a different stream next week. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I might post this progress on Twitter real quick afterwards. Alright, but yeah, thanks for joining me, everybody. It's been a lot of fun. And I will see you all next time.